13 picks, my brothers and my sisters. We are still on a roll. Last week we went 11-3. I did say 12-2 at worst, but my own Philadelphia Eagles sold me, and I'll take the blame. I'll take the blame for everybody that went with the Eagles, man. That is on me. But we're 129-48. And if you look right here, it says we're 157th in the world when it comes to ESPN Pick'em. So that's pretty damn good. This week, all 16 teams play. There's no buys, and I'm very excited. It's Thanksgiving. We got Black Friday. You know, we got games on 4 days this week. Thursday, Friday, Sunday, and of course, Monday. I'm super duper excited. So let's get into our week 13 picks because, brothers, we're going 16-0. An absolute banger to start off Thanksgiving for me. This is 10 a.m. I wake up. I'm on my couch watching football. We got Packers, Lions, divisional matchup. This is a huge game. And you want to know why this is a huge game? Because the loser of this game is not in the playoffs. The winner of this game is in the playoff picture for now. One team will be in the hunt. The other team will be in the playoff picture. So it's a huge game for both teams. Obviously a divisional game. Both teams are trying to win the division. They're a game behind or half a game behind the Chicago Bears in first place. And the Bears have a tough matchup in the Philadelphia Eagles. But I'm going to be honest, bro. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is playing. It's still early. I think right now, after what I saw from last week, like I know that the Lions low-key be selling. But they just have too much talent on that team to not be whooping teams. And I'm a little more confident in Detroit. You know, the Packers got them week 1. So I feel like the Lions get a little bit of revenge this week and take this win on Thanksgiving. Game of the week, Chiefs at the Cowboys. This is a huge game for both teams. The Chiefs are in the hunt at 6-5. Dallas saved their season last week. They're now 5-5-1. So both teams are right there in the hunt, like the 7th, 8th, or 9th team in their respective conferences. One thing I will say, you gotta win this game. Losing this game for either team is tough. But, you know, if we look at the Cowboys, if they lose this game and they win the next 5, they could be 10-6-1, and that might just get them in the playoffs. But the Chiefs, I feel like this is more of a big win for them. They need this win on the road. You know, they shouldn't have lost to the Broncos, but they did. They need to get to 7-5 this week because all the teams that beat them so far this season are ahead of them. The Chargers beat them and they're ahead of them. The Jags beat them and they're ahead of them in the wild card. So it's a big game for the Chiefs to get back on, you know, the proper path to trying to win a Super Bowl. And Patrick Mahomes is 15-0 in domes or, you know, roofed stadiums. So AT&T might as well put the roof open. I don't know if that's possible, but it might be. But I'm taking Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs on the road to beat the Cowboys in Dallas. The return of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow. Okay, if you guys watch my shorts, you understand where that comes from. Don't think I'm tweaking out. But right here, Bengals, Ravens, divisional matchup. Ravens are coming off 5 straight wins. Haven't looked all that great. Haven't looked super great. And the Bengals get Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase back this week. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie. The Bengals could have a lot of energy come out with a win, but this is a must-win for the Ravens. This is bad timing for Joe Burrow to come back if you're a Ravens fan. But the Ravens still have a much better team, and the Bengals defense, you know, Joe Burrow doesn't play defense, so that defense doesn't get any better with Joe Burrow coming back. They might be more dangerous offensively, but I think that Ravens defense is ready for a test like this, and I think they need to be tested like this by a great offense, you know, with about a month away from the playoffs. I got to go with the Ravens at home. I feel like all the favorites on Thanksgiving, because, you know, our favorite, you know, dishes on Thanksgiving is mac and cheese, so that means all the favorites are going to win because we all love mac and cheese type stuff. If you understand the reference, you understand the reference. But yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens at home. You know, Thursday night football, I guess, TNF, not really, but it should be a banger, bro. Like, I'm definitely excited to see this game and Joe Burrow back. But, like, honestly, the Bengals don't need to be throwing him out there, bro. Their season's already over, but give me the Ravens to go to 7-5. The Philadelphia Eagles host the Chicago Bears on Black Friday. And I don't know how I feel about this game, man. I mean, if I'm going to be realistic, like, I've been showing Bears fans love all season. Shout out to the Alliance. Shout out to my Bears brothers. But, like, you know, the Bears have been in a lot of close games with some mid-teams, but then the Eagles have lost to mid-teams at some point. So both of these teams throughout the season have had things that we can nitpick and say this and that, but, you know, on paper and, you know, realistically, the Eagles should be able to handle this Bears team. You know, I think the Bears are a pretty good football team, and I think they have enough this season to make the playoffs. They probably just got to go, you know, maybe 500 on the rest of the way out. But obviously, I'm taking the Eagles, but, you know, this is nothing against the Bears because I feel like the Bears are a good football team. I just feel like the Eagles need this one more than the Bears do right now, even though the Bears are, neck and neck in their division. The Eagles have a couple game lead. But I think the Eagles need this, and I want the Eagles to get this one for a little bit of momentum. Beating a quality team coming into your house, man. I think this is a huge game that we got to win. So give me the Birds at home. Hopefully Saquon and Smitty play. San Francisco 49ers head to Cleveland to take on the Browns. And I don't know. I haven't looked at anything, but I would guess that there's going to be bad weather this game. Just for some reason, I feel like. I might have seen a tweet. I haven't looked up any weather, but I think it's going to be bad weather. And when there's bad weather, you want to trust the run game 100%. We saw Brock Purdy look like the right-handed Tua Tagovailoa last week on Monday Night Football against the Panthers, and that was a little tough. And I feel like a lot of the favorites are the favorite to win this week because of the mac and cheese, like I said earlier. I'm going to be honest, this is my upset of the week, man. Give me the Browns, bro. That defense is insane. Bro. And I think Myles Garrett is getting to the passer. Bro. And I think that secondary might get a couple picks. From what I saw, they might get a couple picks. But if the 49ers can run the ball down their throats, it might be a little tough. But the Browns have a great defense, bro. And it's not like the Niners have an insane offense. They do have weapons like McCaffrey and Kittle. But Purdy hasn't been all that great since he's been back. And I don't expect him to just turn it on against a great defense in the Cleveland Browns. I feel like it's going to be a super low-scoring game with bad weather. And I'm taking the Browns to come up top because Shadur, perfect time, man. Fuck down my AP, perfect time. I don't know the words, but shout out to Shadur, man. Everybody wants to see him win right now. So give me the Browns, man, in a huge upset. Another divisional matchup, Jags at Titans. I know the Texans and the Colts also play each other, so this whole division plays each other this week. Huge games this week. The Jags at the Titans, a game you must take care of. You must win this game, Jags, because you are half a game back from the Colts and a game up on the Texans. So you can't afford to drop a game like this to the 1-10 Titans. Shout out to Cam Ward. I think he's playing a lot better this season. His team's just no good, and he's still one of the most sacked quarterbacks in the league. I got to pick the Jags. But yeah, it's a huge game for the Jags. Trevor Lawrence needs to pick it up and start throwing some dots around the field because he's not playing too well, man. He threw 3 picks last week to the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals have a pretty good defense, but, you can't be throwing 3 picks and still getting that win. They got lucky. But yeah, the Jags got to go into Tennessee and get this win. Like I said, this whole division plays each other. Houston Texans, Indianapolis Colts. This is a tough one, bro, because we saw the Texans defense last week against the Bills look absolutely incredible. And this defense has been pretty good all year. The Colts definitely struggled a little bit against the Chiefs, even though they had an 11-point lead. The run game wasn't really there. They just didn't do a whole lot, and they kind of just let that game get away from them and let, Patrick Mahomes do some Patrick Mahomes things and lead his team to a comeback. But that Chiefs defense did lock in, and I just feel like the Colts are a little vulnerable right now, man. They were off to such a great start. They've dropped a couple games, and now, they're starting to fall back towards the pack because other teams in their division have also been winning games. I'm going to be honest, though. I still have faith in the Colts. I just don't know. This is a tough game. I can definitely see the Texans winning this. If this was in Houston, I'm more inclined to take Houston over the Colts. But for the fact that it's in Indy, I just think the Colts got to win this game. Like the Texans, CJ Stroud, is he going to play? Don't know. Davis Mills is 3-0. But if you're the Colts and you feel like you guys are Super Bowl contenders, you have a great offensive line, great running back, your quarterback's been playing out of his mind, you just traded 2 first-round picks for Sauce Gardner, I feel like you're in the win-now situation. So this is the type of game that you got to win. Saints at Dolphins. I feel like the Saints and the Dolphins have had a pretty easy schedule so far this year. The Eagles need to go up and get that schedule for next season. But the Saints, I picked them last week against the Falcons. Very bad mistake by me because you can never trust the Falcons. But I'm taking the Dolphins at home, man. They've looked, somewhat decent in the last few games. I think they won 3 games in a row, at least 2 games in a row. They beat the Bills, they beat the Commanders, so, those are decent wins. But the Saints, they just not doing enough for me, man. I think Alvin Kamara's hurt. They got stuffed last week like 6 times in the red zone, so they're not a very good offense and not a very good defense. I feel like the Dolphins should be able to get an easy win this week. The type of game when I said I can't trust the Falcons ever, and they play the Jets, bro. It's just like, it's these types of games that the Falcons lose when they shouldn't, bro. Like, these are the exact times when the Falcons lose. That's why they're only minus 145 for the gamblers out there. I have to take the Falcons, though, bro. Like, no shot I'm taking the Jets. Maybe if Justin Fields was playing and Garrett Wilson was playing and they still had Sauce Gardner and Quinn Williams, yeah, I might take the Jets. But the Falcons, one thing they can say is that they have a pretty good defense, man. Like, They got some guys on defense that play hard. They got secondary that, flies around the field. Sometimes they get cooked, but most of the time they play really, really well. And I would be very shocked if Tyrod Taylor and A.D. Mitchell and Breece Hall, were at home and got a big win over a decent Falcons defense. So I got to go with the Falcons on the road against the New York Jets. Cardinals at Bucks. Cardinals are a very interesting team this week. I'm going to be honest. The Bucks, on the other hand, if Baker's not playing, I'm taking the Cardinals. Right now, I'm going to say I'm taking the Bucks, but let me explain something real quick. The Cardinals, bro, how many one-score games have they lost this season? Just lost another one last week. They lost one to the Colts. They lost, I don't know. They've been losing one-score games all year. They lost to Seattle by one score. This is not a bad football team. This is not a bad football team whatsoever. The Cardinals, I think, if they can just figure something out on how to finish games, they'll be okay, bro. They'll be okay. They got 3 picks last week, had a chance to win the game. It just didn't go that way. And if they can start turning around these close games into wins, just half of them, they're in the playoff race right now. You give them that Tennessee Titans game that they should have won, that they blew. Maybe that Colts game they could have won. Even last week they could have won. That's 6-5. They could easily be over 500 right now. But the Bucks, if Baker's playing, I do expect them to win at home. If Baker's out and Bucky Irving doesn't come back and, some of the other guys aren't coming back, then I am going to take the Cardinals probably. Like I said, if I change my picks, I'll always come back into the chat or with the short that I post on Wednesday. But yeah, as of right now, I'm pretty confident in taking the Bucks, but this could be a very close game. The Panthers have had chance after chance to be the first team in their division. They could have won last week against the 49ers. Got 3 interceptions in the first half. Scored, 3 points? That's not good enough. You had as many interceptions as you had points in the first half last week. And then you freaking lose to the Saints, 3 weeks ago now? If you just beat the Saints, you're in first place right now. You're literally 7-5. You would have been 7-4 going in. No, you would have been, you would have been 7-4 going into Monday Night Football with a chance to be 8-4 with a huge lead. That would have been a game and a half lead over the Bucks. But they sold, and now they play the best team in the league. Now they have to play the best team in the league in the Los Angeles Rams. And I just don't have faith that the Panthers get this one done, man. I'm for sure taking the Rams. The Panthers are decent at home, but I would be shocked if the Panthers somehow win this game. Vikings at Seahawks. JJ McCarthy. It's not your year, brother. It's not your year. I've definitely been a hater for sure. I've been a hater 100%. But realistically, bro, I'll give you another year. I think you deserve another year based on your history, man. Good in college. Obviously didn't have to do a whole lot, but I'm going to give you another year before I really start going in on you, my boy. But Seattle might be the second best team in the league. This defense is elite. Top 3 defense, top 3 offense. JSN's about to break Calvin Johnson's record if he keeps going at this pace. And it's a great thing to see, man. I love me some JSN. One of my favorite receivers, in college. So, yeah, I definitely root for him on the Seattle team. And, yeah, I like a lot of the players on Seattle. The defense is tough, and I just don't think the Vikings got it, man. Give me Seattle. Bills, Steelers. I feel like this has been a playoff game the last 2 or 3 years in the wild card, and the Bills win by 2 touchdowns, and but it's 21-7. Not very entertaining games. Maybe a little bit of snow, thunder, rain, whatever, but it's always up in Buffalo, and the Steelers normally lose. The Steelers are in a very tough situation because if they lose this game, they can potentially be 2 games back behind the Ravens if the Ravens end up winning on Thursday. But honestly, I'm taking the Bills, man. I think the Bills, both teams are coming off a loss, if we're going to be honest. It's fact. Both teams are coming off a loss, and I feel like the Bills are the better team. They have the better quarterback. I don't think they have the better head coach, but they have the better quarterback, really. Both of the rest of the team is kind of mid. The Steelers do have a good defense. If the Steelers can maybe do some of the things that the Texans did last week, they might have a chance to win this game. But I'm expecting Josh Allen heroics this week and for him to, carry his team to a victory. Raiders at Chargers in LA. This is an easy one for me, man. The Raiders haven't shown me much this season. I can't believe I picked them to win 10 games. They're about to lose their 10th game, actually. It's a little sickening, but, predictions are wrong sometimes. And it is what it is. You just got to live with it, man. But, yeah, give me the Chargers at home. Chargers are banged up on the offensive line. They're going to be banged up on the offensive line for the rest of the season. Amarian Hampton might be coming back. That should give them a boost in the run game. But outside of that, man, I don't know. They need a block for Justin Herbert, because if Justin Herbert has time to throw the ball, he's up there with one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And, yeah, I just think that the Chargers Got to find a way to protect Herbert, and they will be able to win a game or two in the playoffs. Broncos at Commanders on Monday Night Football. The last day, not Monday, Sunday Night Football. The last day of November. If Jaden Daniels was playing, if Jaden Daniels plays, I'm taking the Commanders. I'm going to be completely honest. I saw he might practice this week. Doesn't mean he's going to play, but I would take Jaden Daniels. Healthy teams, if both of these teams played healthy, I'm probably taking the Commanders. But the Broncos are going to get blessed playing an injured team. I need to see Bo Nix do a little more on offense this week to have a little more faith in this team going into the playoffs, because offensively, I'm not a big believer in this team. Defensively, I'm a huge believer. This defense is insane. PS2 is coming back soon. I don't know if he comes back this week. But, yeah, the Broncos should be able to beat the Commanders. Mariota, not doing a whole lot with that team. I mean, they lost to the Dolphins overseas. They're coming off a bye week. You know, is Terry McLaurin ever going to play? Who knows? But give me the Broncos on the road against Washington. Monday Night Football, 2007-2011 Super Bowl rematch. Both teams obviously completely new. That's over 14, 15 years ago when those Super Bowls took place. The Giants at the Patriots, man. I mean, if this game was in New York, I might take the Giants with Jameis, bro. Jameis has looked unreal these past 2 weeks. I don't care if they've lost. Jameis has looked unreal. And if this game was in New York, I might take the Giants to somehow pull this one off. But I will say, I think it's going to be a close game. I think Jameis keeps them in it as long as he's not turning the ball over. If he can take care of the ball this game, I think they have a good chance of winning the game. But the Patriots, they've definitely been a dog all year. They beat bad teams. It hasn't been, you know, beautiful football that they've played. But, you know, they're winning. They're the only 10-win team in the league, and that's got to mean something. They probably get their bye next week, so a big win over the Giants should be good. But, yeah, they can't lose this game. Everybody else is going to call them a fraud. But, yeah, Jameis, man, I'd be a little scared of Jameis after what I've been seeing from him, man. He just did the Heisman on a catch and run to the end zone. I thought that was pretty impressive, man. Shout out to Jameis. But, yeah, give me the Patriots, and that's going to do it for our 16 picks for Week 13 in the NFL. Comment you guys' biggest lock of the week and your biggest upset of the week. I feel like I picked a lot of favorites today, and I felt like I could even picked, you know, the Niners over the Browns, but that's my one upset, my one non-favorite I didn't pick. And that's a little scary because once you start picking all favorites, you're like, uh-oh, somebody that's a favorite's for sure gonna lose. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As I said, you know, we post every Wednesday, getting these up. And this December, in the month of December, I will be coming out with one long-form video every single day. 31 days of December, 31 days of Christmas, whatever you want to call it. We'll still have power rankings and pick 'em, these videos every single Tuesday and Wednesday, so that will be included. But there will be a lot of Madden videos. There'll be some 2K videos, and I'm really excited to show you guys what I've been working on. So without further ado, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe, and put post notifications on so you don't miss a single video on 31 days of Christmas. And that is it. Peace out, fellas. Bye.